Gavin McKenna's junior numbers screamed can't-miss superstar. He posted 129 points in 56 games, and in 2022, he was the WHL #1 pick, outpacing nearly every peer. But after pressure at the World Juniors and a shaky start in the NCAA, the once unquestioned first overall label became a debate. Are we witnessing the unraveling of a generational lock, or is a new bar being set? The real reasons and what is truly at stake begin with how he built that untouchable resume. Medicine Hat called his name first in the 2022 Western Hockey League Prospects Draft, and Gavin McKenna wasted no time justifying that pick. In the 2024 to 2025 season, he delivered one of the most explosive scoring campaigns the league had seen in decades. He scored 41 goals, 88 assists, and 129 points in just 56 games. That is 2.30 points per game, a number that stands out even among the best to ever skate at this level. But it was not just about piling up points. McKenna finished the year with a staggering +60 rating, a sign that his line was dominating play at both ends of the ice. Coaches leaned on him in every situation, trusting his instincts and skill to tilt the ice shift after shift. Opponents game planned for him, but few found answers. He was the engine behind Medicine Hat's offense, quarterbacking the power play, driving transition, and threading passes that turned routine rushes into highlight reel chances. Scouts pointed to his ability to process the game at top speed, his hands, and his vision. Those are traits that made defenders look overmatched, even as he played against older competition. By the end of the season, McKenna was not just a top scorer, he was the standard. His production put him in the company of the league's all-time greats for his age. The numbers did not just set records, they set expectations. For fans and analysts, this was the kind of resume that made the generational label feel earned, not just hype. By the time the postseason wrapped, Gavin McKenna's numbers had reached a level that almost defied belief. Over the course of the regular season, the playoffs, and the Memorial Cup, he piled up 173 points in 76 games, an output that stretched across every competition and every pressure moment. It was not just the totals that set him apart, but the way he arrived at them. McKenna strung together a 40-game point streak during the regular season, a run that became the talk of junior hockey. Every night, his name landed on the score sheet. Even as teams keyed on him, double-shifted their best checkers, or tried to grind him down, the streak kept going. Some sources suggest the streak extended to 54 games if you count his playoff opener, making it one of the longest in the modern Canadian Hockey League era. His consistency was not just a statistical marvel, it became a calling card. Coaches, teammates, and opponents all knew what to expect. McKenna would show up, find ways to produce, and make everyone around him better. The Canadian Hockey League recognized him as Player of the Year, putting him in rare company for his age. Only a handful of players, like Sidney Crosby and John Tavares, have earned that honor before turning 18. The awards, the streaks, and the cumulative points all told the same story. This was a player whose dominance lasted from opening night through the final horn, a standard that few prospects in any era have matched. Penn State's coaching staff wasted no time giving Gavin McKenna a central role the moment he arrived in State College. As a true freshman, he found himself logging minutes in every situation, 5-on-5, power play, penalty kill, and even late game scenarios with an extra attacker on the ice. This kind of deployment is rare for a player his age, especially in the Big Ten, where the average opponent is older, heavier, and often more battle-tested than what he faced in junior hockey. The second half of Penn State's schedule offers no let-up. Wisconsin, Michigan, and Michigan State, all programs with deep NHL pipelines, are lined up on the calendar. These are not just tough games, they are the kind that scouts circle and revisit when weighing a prospect's readiness for the next level. Every shift in these matchups gets dissected, every puck touch measured against the expectations that come with a projected first overall pick. Off the ice, Speculation follows McKenna as closely as any defender. Message boards buzz with rumors about name, image, and likeness deals, with some fans tossing out six-figure numbers as the reason he chose Penn State. But there is no verified report, no on-record confirmation from the school or his camp. What is certain is that McKenna himself talks about opportunity, about playing against men, about being tested in all areas of the game, and about wanting to grow. In the Big Ten, that growth is measured shift by shift, especially when the spotlight is this bright and the competition is this fierce. Connor Bedard's numbers have become the measuring stick for every so-called generational prospect since he left the WHL. At age 15, Bedard put up 28 points in just 15 games, a 1.87 points per game pace that set a new standard for underagers in Major Junior. By the time he was 17, Bedard's scoring reached a level rarely seen in Canadian junior hockey. 143 points in 57 games, including 71 goals. That is 2.51 points per game, with over a goal per night, and it is all there on the official WHL stats page. Stack Gavin McKenna's numbers beside that, and the picture sharpens. At 15, McKenna managed 18 points in 16 games, a 1.13 pace, strong but not in Bedard's orbit. At 17, McKenna's 129 points in 56 games translate to 2.30 points per game. That is elite company, especially given his assist totals. But Bedard's 143 in 57 remains the clear outlier. The comparison does not diminish McKenna's impact. His production is rare air for any draft class. It simply highlights how Bedard's goal scoring at the same age was more than great, it was almost untouchable. McKenna stands as a top-tier creator and playmaker. Bedard, at his peak, was a scoring phenomenon that comes along once in a generation. Gavin McKenna's passing game has become a calling card among both fans and scouts. In thread after thread, you find the same praise. His ability to spring teammates in transition is described as better than any prospect some fans have ever watched. It is not just highlight reels from the half wall or cross-seam lasers on the power play. It is the way he reads pressure, draws defenders, and then threads a puck into space before the lane even looks open. That anticipation turns routine breakouts into odd man rushes, and it is a skill that keeps opponents guessing every shift. Scouting reports echo the same theme. Many see McKenna as a pass-first winger who projects to run a top power play unit at the next level. He is not racking up assists because of secondary touches, or by default, he is actively setting the tempo and making the kind of plays that drive team offense. During his WHL run, his 88 assists in 56 games were not just a number, they were evidence of a player who could manipulate coverage and create chances out of thin air. Coaches trust him to quarterback from the flank, and even at Penn State, he is already being used as the primary distributor on the power play. That vision and touch remain the foundation of his upside, and for many evaluators, it is the reason his ceiling still looks as high as ever. Not every review of McKenna's game is glowing. On fan forums, the phrase soft perimeter player keeps surfacing, with critics pointing to stretches where he circles outside the dots instead of driving the middle. World Junior's stat lines add fuel. Most of his points came on the power play, while his 5-on-5 impact faded against stronger teams. Even his physical profile gets picked apart. While official listings put him around 165 to 170 pounds, some fans insist he was just 162 on Canada's roster, making him one of the lighter players in the tournament. These doubts are not just noise, they are shaping what scouts and fans look for next. Ivar Stenberg's name keeps coming up for a reason. After a strong SHL playoff run, scouts now mention him in the same breath as McKenna, calling him a true threat for the top draft spot. Keaton Verhoeff's rise is just as real. By the time he joined Canada's World Junior squad, he had already put up 11 points in 16 NCAA games as a freshman defenseman. With the race for number one wide open, the next 30 games become a proving ground. Track McKenna's shot volume. Can he stay above 3.5 per game? Watch his shooting percentage. Does it climb toward 10% or level off? Look for more 5-on-5 impact, a bigger share of on-ice expected goals, regular top-line minutes, and progress toward the low 170s in weight. Every metric offers a window into whether he is still the best bet at first overall, or if one of the challengers will pass him by. Prospect status can change overnight, but the draft remains a projection, never a guarantee. As McKenna, Stenberg, and Verhoef battle for number 1, every shift is now magnified. The pressure is not going away. In hockey's future, hype fades, but potential is always up for debate. What's your call?